Evening, guys. Welcome. Glad this connection went through. I see a few of you guys out there. It's another January Wednesday night, the fifth Wednesday in January this year. Howdy, Dan. Howdy, Danny. So glad you're here. Tonight's Tony Rice guitar solo is by request. And I said last week I was going to do a request. I do not remember who requested this. I wish I could remember so I could give him a shout out, but I didn't even know there was a little Tony Rice solo in this song. I hadn't really paid much attention to it. This is Where the Soul of Man Never Dies, which is a fantastic gospel number from the 1980 Skaggs and Rice album, one of the best albums, one of my favorites of all time. I just love all of the songs on there, including this one. And this is a special song to me, actually. I sang this song at my children's baptism. I liked it so much. So that was back in 2012. They got baptized together in Richmond, Virginia, where I'm from. So a special song tonight. Some people call it traditional. It's actually not. It's written by William Golden, a writer of a lot of gospel songs. And we're going to have just a little 8-bar, kind of a half a solo there, kind of a turnaround in a way, and it's going to be great for us just to concentrate on some simple C position down here in the first position. We've got capo 4. We're playing C chords in capo 4, so that means we're playing out of the key of E, right? Because there's our tonic up here on the 7th fret above the nut, but only the 3rd fret above the capo. Key of E, capo 4, C chords. So the song uses the 1, 4, and 5 chords, the C, F, and G chords, and we'll go through those. While everybody's joining up, I'll play it a couple more times, maybe one more time. The road never dies. Again. You guys remember last week Doc Watson did that little hop. That's an idiom, and just remember that. Actually, I jammed this one at Spigma just the other night, and people were doing that hop on this song. So if you learn to sing it, it's a great duet number for church, for gigs, for jamming. People are probably going to do that little hop just from having heard it on Skaggs and Rice so much. And of course, so many other people have recorded this song as well. So what we've got here is 8 bars of very melodic Tony Rice style turnaround. A lot of our other Tony Rice solos have been not so melody based, so it's nice to have some of that. And we are going to hear that basic melody. Da 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 ba da da ba da 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 da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So that's basically what's happening here. It's a nice singable half solo melody, but the tricky part of this is the extra notes he adds into that, and that's why we are here tonight to listen to those. I slowed it way down. Of course, this solo is much faster than what I just played. And we're going to add those filler notes in and see how Tony does that so that we can be cross-picking in our own melodies. So to get warmed up for that, I would advise some drills. My son plays lacrosse and he does his wall ball every day. Even if he's had a whole 2.5-hour practice, he needs his daily drills. And that's how I feel about some of this. Right now, I have my hand in a C chord. And I'm just going with my right hand, starting on the 5th string. I'm going down, up, down, up. Down on the 5th string, up on the 4th string, down on the 3rd string, up on the 2nd string. Just alternating those down ups. You do it with the drum machine with the metronome. Speed it up. Get it nice and clean. Those every day if I can, just to get warmed up. I have a whole a whole little exercise I like to do in different keys for that. And then we just take a peek at our C scale here just to see what this key is. For you musicians, everybody who plays piano knows C is all the white keys. It's just C, D. Of course, I'm speaking as if the capo were the nut. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So when you go ahead and play your scale, try to envision it with just the major pentatonic. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Just the 5 notes without the 4 and the 7. And then the major pentatonic with the flat 3. That's just something I like to go over with people before they learn a tune, remind them what the basic notes are going to be in the solo we're about to play. Of course, this one is so chord and melody based, it's a little bit less of a big deal than some of those other more involved Tony Rice solos that are, up the neck and all that. So we're going to start this one with just some pickup notes. Right? So 5, 5, 5, 6, 1, 5. Those are all pickups. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and those were the beats I just called out. 2 and 3 and 4 and what are pickup notes? They are the notes before the form starts, before beat 1 of the solo form. So before the form even starts, he's almost a whole measure ahead with just pickup notes. So let's take a listen with our ears, because in almost all of our solos he's done something similar, started on the 5 below the tonic there. Here's the tonic, the C. And then we have the 5 below, which is that, what would be a G if this were the nut, 3rd fret. That's where we're going to start with our 3rd finger. 3rd fret, 6th string. Down, up, down. So we have 3 strokes there. And just a reminder, because I just did it a second ago too, with this flat picking technique, we're always going to be doing our down ups. And if we miss a note, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If we miss a note, we're still going to move our hand as if that down up were there, just to keep that metronome going with our right hand. Like this. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, goes up, down, up. So we're going to have some of that here. This is not such a syncopated solo as some of the other ones. This is a nice one to get started if this is your first time doing these guitar hangouts with me. So, like I said, we're going to start on beat 2, down, up, down, on that low, what would be a G, 3rd fret, 6th string, up on the open 5th string, and then down on the tonic, the C, the 3rd fret, 5th string, and then an up on that high 5 there, the 5th, the open G, if that were the nut, and the open 3rd string. That's the pickup. Setting our ear up for that nice do to Canaan's land. That's where our melody is going to start, on that 3rd. 1, 2, 3. And he's going to hammer on there. So let me confirm with Mr. TR. Yep, so a nice, fat, powerful hammer-on. Some of my students actually struggle with hammer-ons. I would say just envision a piano hammer and have your finger just go on in at a nice, I guess I'm pretty much flat on with the angle here of my finger, and I give it some nice power. So I'm hammering from open 4th string with a down on my right hand to the 4th string 2nd fret. What would be an E if this were the nut? Okay. Next up, we have our filler cross picking. So when we do that, it needs to be a little bit quieter than the actual melody, because we got da 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 da, Canaan's land. That's the melody the ear's hearing. And then we hear some beautiful cross picking underneath, just up that C chord. So now my hand's just resting in a C chord. So I don't really have to think too hard. I just do an up on that open G, that open third string, and then a down on that C, the tonic, the first fret second string. So remember to go nice and loud on that third there, the second fret, fourth string. And then a nice little quiet decoration there, that filler, that pretty chordal cross picking. Doesn't seem like a big deal when we're slow like this, but when we get up to those quick tempos, like on Way Downtown, he does a lot of that. It is really hard to fit that in with the right hand with accuracy and control. So just practice nice and slow and relaxed. So next up, we're going to pull off from that third to the two again. Not again. We're not going to pull off again, but we're going to hit those notes again. You can hear quiet cross picking after that too. So it's very quiet though, because he's Canaan's land. That's what he wants our ear to hear. He plays that nice and confident, loud, singable melody with that quiet cross picking, decorating it. And then now my pull off with a down in my right hand, second finger, second fret, fourth string, pull off, and then I do a ghost up as I pull off. That would have been an upstroke if I had picked it, but instead that note got taken up by the time of the pull off. So my right hand still has to do a fake up motion just to remind myself where I am with my beat. Hammer on, down, up, pull off, down, up. And then hit a nice tonic there. Third fret, fifth string. What would be a C? So let's play that whole phrase together, starting on the pickup there. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. There it is. Maybe a little bit slower. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Kind of exaggerated the cross picking for y'all there. What's it? Danny says there's a live video of Skaggs and Rice, but they played in D capo 2. This solo would translate easily, right? Yeah, totally. Give E. Interesting. Interesting. Hey there, Dixie Hagen. So let's go on to that next phrase. So this is just a fun little filler here. And I'll just make sure that that's what he's doing. So you can hear it. So it's to fill the word where somebody would say, to Canaan's land I'm. It's pretty, isn't it? So cross-picking isn't necessarily a science. I have a lot of my flat-picking students, they want to analyze patterns and what's supposed to be cross-picking, and I'm of the school, especially when you listen to this, you can tell there's no necessarily, he's not following a cross-picking pattern the entire time, as if it's math, as if he has to always be doing. And I get that there are cross-pickers and who do that, and it sounds amazing and awesome, but this is definitely a little bit more free-form in terms of the filler and how the cross-picking works, and that's definitely how my musicality works when I'm cross-picking. So you can choose which style you like better. What I find works best for me is to learn solos in this vein from various guitar players, and then your style with cross-picking just naturally evolves. You're hearing it, you've done it, you've got the muscle memory, rather than overanalyzing it and talking it out, which never seems to go that far because your brain can only do so much. It's really just our inner musicianship that brings out this this language and this style. So that's our goal. We're going to hammer on from open 4th string with the downstroke in our right hand. Second finger hammers onto the 2nd fret again, so, and then down on that tonic, 1st fret, 2nd string, the C note, if this were the nut. Next up, we have some control here because we're going to go down. That was a down, ghost, down, and then we have to skip a string and do an up on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So that requires a little bit of control there at a high speed. Skip that 3rd string. And it's immediate up. Okay, next up, immediate down on that open 3rd string. So down, goes down, up, down. Pretty. So far we've got pretty. And this is a nice short solo, so you don't get me for very long tonight. Sorry about that. Actually, probably a good night for that for me because I'm coming in hot from lacrosse practice. It's that season where my son gets out pretty late now. So I'm going to be coming in hot every time, but I have got some more complicated solos coming up for you guys, including some of your fun requests. So next up, now that might be my favorite part of this entire solo. I have this weird affinity for people who break up the 8th notes with like perfectly timed quarter notes in a melodic way. It just grabs at my heartstrings. And I love playing it. And now we have a down to get this phrase. And by the way, it's obvious he's outlining. I hope your ear is picking up on this. He's outlining this four triad, this 4 chord here, which would be an F, right? Visualize this triad. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, F, A, C, if this were the nut. My 3rd finger's on the F natural, 3rd fret, 4th string. 2nd finger is on that 2nd fret, 3rd string. 1st finger is on that C. Nice, easy F major triad. Fancy term for F chord, with the 3 notes of the chord. So he's going down on that G, down on the root of the 4 chord, and then he hammers onto the 3rd of the 4 chord, the A, from the open G, open 3rd string with a downstroke. Okay, ghost up as I hammer, and then a down on my 5th of the 4 chord, the C. What would be a C? 1st fret, 2nd string. And then back to, I'm sorry. So he's taking our ear back to that 1 chord, the 5th of the 1 chord. Because it's a two kings and I'm on my way. Right. We have some comments here. F comes in on the my. Correct. I'm on my way. So that is where my would be. My. And then way is the 1 chord. Way. So that's straight on melody. So let's loop that little that pretty little passage there. So we'll start with that. Hammer on the little part before the 4 chord there. Hammer onto the 2nd fret, 4th string. 2, 3, 4, 1, So I just really love the strength and the melodic content of this. Just love it. It just makes me feel connected with the song. So that's just a nice little hint for ourselves when we're improvising, right? We don't need to be full blast deedle deedle deedle, as Alan Shedd calls it, eighth notes at all times. We can actually create more of an impact with some space there, with some quarter notes, some really nicely melodically placed downs, with not necessarily always having to fill. But the beauty of this is there is filler almost everywhere, and then, you know, there's that little slowdown. So there is a tiny little filler after this. On my way, we're gonna go down. I'll confirm. Yeah, it almost sounds like a I don't even know if that's, I don't know what that is. Do you hear this? I hear a high third up there, but I don't even know if I would. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but I'm not gonna add that to our lesson today because I don't know if that was a mistake or something. He might have tried to grab a quick little cross picking up here. Anyway. If we want to add that, okay. Well, I like to stay true to these solos so we can do it. It's just almost like a little quick filler after that passage we just did. So let's do it. It's the top of this triad here. 5, 1, 3, 1, 5. This is a 1-chord triad. My first finger is just right there on the C in the open G string, open 3rd string, open 1st string. So after this, just a down on that tonic there, that C, 1st finger, 1st fret, 2nd string. And then an up on that open 1st string. And then we're gonna go a nice little hammer on that open G, open 3rd string with a downstroke in our right hand. Hammer on from the open 3rd string to the 2nd fret 3rd string, what would be an A. And then oh, this is nice. Okay, so we're gonna grab yeah, we're gonna, okay, here we go. We just did that. We did a down on the hammer on 2nd fret, 3rd string. And then we're going to do a down on the open 3rd string. And then we're going to, that's the next little bit. And then, just for your ear to have context of where we are. So for context, that's where we are. Next up, we are going to grab a down with our open 4th string, and we're going to hammer onto our 2nd fret 4th string. And that's a nice down, goes down, up. So down, goes up, goes down, up on that C. 1st fret, 2nd string. ghost, ghost, up, and then straight into a down on that open third string. Let's just check with Tony real quick. Yep. It's almost like this is the closest to syncopation we get in this entire solo with those two ghost, the ghost strokes there. Down, ghost, up, ghost, down, up stroke. Again. So there's some space there. Down, ghost up, ghost down, up. Straight to a down on that open G. Okay. Why don't we start on da da. Okay, da da. Does that make sense? That's all where it would be all together. So I'm gonna keep going, and then we're gonna play this whole thing extremely slowly in a moment for you to have this all kind of come together. So here we are with this, and then I have, whoops, super easy to hear. There's deedle deedle, deedle if you need it all day, more like a fiddle tune. Easier for some people to hear stuff like that. Okay, so we're going down from the third of the scale here, the E, 2nd fret, 4th string with a downstroke in our right hand. Oh, sorry, no we're not. We're going from an A. Third string, 2nd fret. Downstroke, 2nd finger hits the 2nd fret, 3rd string. Up on the open 3rd string. And then now down on the 2nd fret, 4th string. Up on the open 4th string, D, open D. And then down on that C, that tonic, that 3rd fret, 5th string. And then an up on the 3rd of the scale, the E, what would be an E, the 2nd fret, 4th string. And then down on the D, open 4th string. Up on that, what would be a C, the 3rd fret, 5th string. Down on that, what would be a B, 2nd fret, 5th string. And then an up on that open 4th string, what would be a D. And then down on the tonic, the C, the 3rd fret, 5th string. That's where we are at the end of this little mini solo here. Okay. Now he's still gonna add some beautiful cross picking to finish this off. So I'll confirm that's what. Okay, there's a very quiet 5, 5, 1 after that. So that's a down on our open G, a downstroke on our open 3rd string, and then an up on our 2nd string, our 1st fret, 2nd string. Very quiet. Pretty. I don't know why I got an Amazon notification just now. Sorry about that. Now his little, whoops. So let's hammer on that. It's just going up the C chord there. So hammer onto your 3rd, 2nd finger grabs the, we have a downstroke in our right hand on that open 4th string. Hammer onto the 3rd of the scale there, the 3rd of the C chord, 2nd fret, 4th string, down on the open G, open 3rd string, up on the 2nd fret, up on that E again, 2nd fret 4th string up, and then down on that tonic, the 1st fret 2nd string. And then I pause, and then I grab that. Ooh, sorry about that rattle. So that little thing. Rattle again. Daggone it. We talked guitar care, so I thought I'd get this out to show you guys. During the winter months, my guitar is not happy, especially when we had that freezing temperatures like we did during the snowstorm we had. My electric heat was just blasting. I couldn't use the heat pump. It wasn't gonna heat up the house enough. So I use, this is simple. It's just a sponge inside. This is a Kaiser Lifeguard, and there's a sponge inside. You hold it in the sink, squeeze it out, towel it off, and then you stick it in your sound hole. And even you can get creative, even if you have a pickup. Don't get your pickup wet, obviously, but it just lives here. So when I'm not playing my guitar in the winter, it goes in the case with this in it at all times. So I know a lot of you love having those stands where your guitar's out because you think you'll play it more, but just make a deal with yourself that you'll get it out of the case to play it. The stand trick rarely works anyway. If you're gonna play, you're gonna play, and if you're not gonna play, you're not gonna play. It's not worth having a dried out guitar. And here mine's been humidified and it's still kind of rattling a little bit. But they tend to get dried out and the action gets lower in the winter. So anyway, back to the solo. That was it, basically. Oh, here's Julie Pinnell. I've played that lick on the banjo. I love how interchangeable all of these are. Yes. Or do you mean this one? That one? I'm trying to picture which one you might mean. So does anybody have any questions about this? Luckily, this is actually this might be the simplest solo we've done in all of my guitar hangouts. I really appreciate the request. I always tend to get complicated with you guys and choose some of the craziest, most syncopated Tony Rice solos, and I'm happy to do that. In fact, next week I think I might do Will You Be Loving Another Man. It's one of my favorites, and it is crazy and syncopated, but it has a ton of triads which we can have fun doing together. And it almost sounds like Ain't Nobody Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone a little bit. So let's slow this one way down if y'all don't have any questions, and just really hone in on the accuracy of our cross picking, which it's pretty tough to do when you're really slow tempos. But that control, that diligence of doing it slowly and cleanly creates that flowing, articulate, smooth, clean sound that we flat pickers that's what we want. We covet that smooth sound, but the picking is still powerful. And that comes from lots of nice and slow, relaxed playing and keeping ourselves relaxed as the tempos go up. It's possible. And it's possible only by starting slowly and in a relaxed way. You can't just jump into it fast and expect to have that relaxed feeling, unfortunately. This is very slow. Pick up note. Painfully slow, but I was trying to exaggerate some of those filler notes for you guys because I don't know if you have slow downers at your house. And if you don't, maybe this helps because then you can hear me doing them. And I'll do it again. It's a little bit faster, but still slow. Cool. So, can you do that at that tempo, getting every single note clean and perfectly? If not, take some time and get it at that tempo. There's this funny thing. A lot of and it's beginners who say this. Oh, I can't play that slow. I can only play it fast. Have you ever heard somebody say that and you're like, what does that mean? You cannot play it slow. There are a lot of really slow songs, so you're gonna have some control and clean, clean picking, even when it's slow. So here it is, 50% here. A little bit faster here. Faster here. Play along. A little bit faster. About this tempo where that cross picking gets, trickier to grab. Let's see. Glenn says Church Street Blues. Now that's a beautiful one. Would love to work on that with y'all. Keep bumping it up. Play along. Go faster. Are you guys? Oh, nice. Dan says, thanks for a shorter one. I just yesterday memorized Black Mountain Rag from 3 weeks ago. I know. These take a long time. And I have students who work on some of these for years. All right, let's try at this tempo here. Faster here. tempo there, and I haven't clocked that one out to see where it is, but it gets pretty quick. Great practice for that cross picking, like I said, for that more free-form style cross picking, not such a rigid pattern cross picking, just getting in the habit of filling our melody notes with beautiful chord tones and nice, perfectly clean, perfectly timed cross picking with our right hand. Easier said than done, and I get it. And it takes, with flat picking psychology, it just takes patience. It just takes daily doing it. It takes caring about it a lot. It's not something people just pick up every now and then and do. Anyone I know who is good at flat picking is basically obsessed with it and does it all the time. Does it as many hours a day as they can fit in. And I realize, there's life outside of flat picking, obviously. But I guess what I'm trying to say is if you want to get good at flat picking, it helps if it's a priority. It's a commitment. Just like a lot of people are committed to, club soccer teams, or to bridge and becoming a master of bridge, whatever. If this is a hobby for you, I guess I'm trying to imply. Professionals are obviously doing it all day, every day. But there you go. That's flat picking psychology 101. And I think I wrote a blog on my website about chops, and I think I mentioned the psychology was, for me, it needs to feel like the most important thing on earth, but it also kind of needs to feel like it doesn't matter at all. There needs to be both of those feelings living side by side, because if you care too much, you will drive yourself crazy and burn out, and all the fun would be gone. So for me, it really just lives in the zone of I don't care at all, and I care a lot. So that's my tidbit, 2 cents for the day. And I'm so excited that we're back at this every week. It's been so much fun. I've loved connecting with you guys and hearing about the songs you want to do. Thanks for your messages. Thanks for everything. And thanks for your tips, by the way. I'm going to send those to Chesapeake Bay Foundation, a cause near and dear to my heart. I grew up there in Richmond and over in the Middle Peninsula on the Chesapeake Bay. So I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And I will be taking February 14th. We will not have a hangout. My kids have requested that we go out for sushi. So I think that'll be a nice night for you guys to not be obsessed with guitar and take your partner out, or take yourself out, or your pet, or do something fun. And if that's playing guitar, that's great. I'll probably be playing guitar that day too. So love y'all. See you next time. See you Wednesday. I will post an event, and bye for now. Thanks again.